Malignant is the brand new horror film from top tier director James Wan. The film stars Annabelle Wallace, Maddie Hassan, and George Young. Tell us about Madison, who is played by Annabelle Wallace, is paralyzed by shocking visions of grisly murders, and her torment worsens as she discovers that these dreams are in fact reality and terrifying kills. The film's an hour 51 and is rated R. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Here on Max Talks Movies, we're talking Malignant. It seems like one of the rare people who is actually genuinely excited to see this movie. First of all, please like the video, the thumbs up button down below. That's the best way to support this channel. Also, please comment down below your thoughts on Malignant. First of all, if you've seen the film, let me know if you saw it on HBO Max or in theaters. And let me know, what are your thoughts on the film? Where does this rank for you in James Wan's filmography? And also, please let me know if you also in the comment section down below, if you have not seen the film, are you interested, and really check us out this weekend. Also, please subscribe, ring the bell, do these types of movie reviews, TV show reviews, a box office breakdown show, and a movie ranking. I love doing these rankings and many more of these reviews. It's the big news coming down the line here on the channel, but let's talk Malignant. So as I said, I was extremely excited because it's another new James Wan horror film. And I can go through the James Wan catalog: Saw, The Conjuring 1 and 2, Insidious 1 and 2, and he did Fast Furious 7 and Aquaman. When you look at James Wan's filmography, he really has created the three strongest horror franchises of the last 20 years. We've already had a new Saw film this year. It wasn't him. A new Saw film happened this year. A new Conjuring film happened this year. And we're going to get another Insidious movie in the next couple of years. So his franchises have gone on for such a long time, and they've all created their own universe. And the fact that he's doing a new horror movie, that already, you got me in a movie theater watching this movie, because that alone. And I do want to talk about the positives, then I'm going to give my negatives, then I'm going to give you my score. The biggest positive that I have to say is, again, himself, James Wan. He does as always, fantastic job of balancing a very campy movie. It's a very cheesy movie. It feels like an early 2000s movie for a lot of it. Like when he was making Saw, it felt like a very early 2000s movie. There's a lot of cheesy dialogue. But the tone is there, and the movie doesn't just give you cheap jump scares for every single scary scene. The way he builds tension is really, really well done. And that's one of the best parts about this movie, is also about how original it is. You're not going to see any horror movie out there like this movie, like the plot that this goes into. There's nothing really to compare this movie to, and that speaks levels to James Wan. Obviously, he also has a story credit for this movie. His vision is clearly on screen, and it's completely different when anything he has done in any of his three other horror franchises. It's a new movie that stands on its own. And that's what Wan does really beautifully in this movie. He balances cheesiness with really good tension, with really good action, with also some sci-fi, or he's also balancing a lot of genres. I know that was his goal with this movie, is to show off a lot of different genres. There's some sci-fi, there's some horror, there's some action, there's a bit of comedy. There's a lot going on genre-wise, but he does a really good job of balancing it and really keeping this movie at times the same tone throughout the entire film. Now, there are times where sometimes the tones, and that could be too many genres. I'll get to that in my negatives, but he does it for the most part a really good job of balancing this out. As I said, the movie at times is really disturbing. They're not just disturbing with again, this movie is rated R. There are some really awesome kills in this movie. The third act of this movie is absolutely bonkers crazy. It is really crazy. I know this, and it's just really intense, really crazy, action heavy, a lot of great kills. And I was watching with my friend, and he was disappointed by the kills in the first act of the movie. But then as the movie progressed, the kills kept getting more violent as they went on. And some of the kills in this movie are really, really awesome to watch. As I said, at times it feels like you're watching the early 2000s horror movie. Another strength is that there are a lot of good twists and turns with this movie. The trailers do a beautiful job of not giving you really anything to do with the plot. Yes, she is witnessing all these murders and she doesn't know why. That is kind of like a tip of the iceberg of what's actually happening in this movie. And that was so beautiful to see. You see so many trailers these days give you the entire movie in the trailer, but this movie, I saw the first trailer. That's all I saw. Maybe if there were other trailers, I missed them. They really didn't show that much in the trailers. And I give this movie a lot of credit. This movie had a lot of different twists and turns that I really did not see coming, which made this one of the more fun horror experiences I think I'm going to have all year. And I was also, as I said, I was kind of nervous though heading in because the screeners, no critics got to see this movie until Thursday night. So people, the fact that most times if a movie's really good, they want that positive talk to come weeks in advance. So it's kind of nerve wracking, but I don't know what I know this movie won't be for everyone. I do want to say that right away. If you're not into campy dialogue or a campy story or so many genres or all this different types of stuff, I get it. And I'm not going to be mad at you if you do not like this movie. I just really dug the tone of the movie, the vibe of the movie, the actual atmosphere. The score is really excellent in here. Some of the acting is quite good. The actual design of the villain is really, really interesting. And the movie has some really good twists and turns. Let's talk about some negatives with the movie because there are some negatives. And I do think that some of the acting in this movie is not great. There's a husband character in the first act of the movie who, for me, just pulled me out of out of a scene. He is really not good in this movie. No offense. I don't want to say his name. No offense to him. I do want to say this about Annabelle Wallis. Annabelle Wallis is a person who I just haven't, this is a big opportunity for her. I've only seen her she was in a Loudest Voice TV show, but she was also in Tag in a very minor role. And then she really was the main character in the first Annabelle film. So obviously this is probably how her and James Wan had this connection. As well as McKenna Grace, who's in this movie playing the younger version of Annabelle Wallis. I do not believe Annabelle Wallis, in my opinion, is a lead actress moving forward in Hollywood. I think could be a really good supporting actress, but I wanted a bit more charisma from our lead character in this movie. And I'm not going to blame totally on Annabelle Wallis. She has a lot of really cheesy dialogue that doesn't help her throughout the film. But I really do wish that there was a stronger presence from our lead actor on screen. And I think it was just a bit of a miscast. I totally like Annabelle Wallis. I don't think she's a bad actor whatsoever. It's just putting her in, this movie is really on her shoulders. And at times the movie, you need a more charismatic, commanding force in the main role. And I just didn't believe she brought that to the table. But I still like Annabelle Wallis. She was fine in the movie. She doesn't derail the movie for me. I just wish it was a stronger performance. I just want a little more background on her relationship with her family. Her stepsister, who is really great in this movie, one of the best characters of the entire film. I think their relationship needed to be talked about a little bit more. And as I said, there are some really cheesy dialogue, and for the most part, it works, but there are some weird scenes that have cheesy dialogue just to fit the scene. There's some weird musical choices at certain points in the movie. And for me, it just wasn't, I was never scared watching this movie. There are no jump scares that really scared me, nothing even close to Saw or The Conjuring 1 or 2 with the scare level. This is nowhere near as scary as his other 3 franchise films. And I just wish at times some of the CGI with our villain, at times there's a particular scene I can't really talk about because it's spoiler related. At times it kind of felt ridiculous, like you're watching a movie from the 1970s at times too. And as I said, there is a point where the movie does have to handle and tackle too many genres. As I said, there's so many genres that has to happen. I said, for the most part, it works, but there's some scenes that go from really dark and grim to then a really off-putting funny line. And you're kind of like, why was that even in the movie? So as a whole, guys, I'm actually really positive on this movie. This is definitely going to be one of my favorite horror movies of the year. This is not top 10 movies of the year. This is not top tier James Wan for me, but still for some reason, I just dug this movie all the way through. A really enjoyable hour and 15 minutes. Even though I had a really bad theater experience, my theater was pretty much loud the entire movie, which was not that happy about. There's a lot of kids in the theater for some reason. You know, this is a rated R horror movie with some pretty violent stuff going on. But as a whole, guys, I'm going to give Malignant a 4 to 5 stars and 80%. It's a really good movie in my opinion. I really did enjoy this film. I want more people to, again, if you don't like it, tell me in the comment section down below why in non-spoiler fashion. If you do want to talk spoilers, leave a thing before in uppercase letters, say spoilers, and then talk about the spoilers. There's a lot to talk about spoiler fashion with this movie. So if you want to do that discussion, do in the comment section down below. 2 more reviews are coming out this weekend. An Amazon Prime movie I'm literally watching right after I'm done filming this review. And then I'm also going to be doing a Netflix review of Kate tomorrow as well. So, and then on my box office breakdown show, we're going to find out how does Malignant do at the box office. I'll see you guys on Monday for that show. So 3 more videos in the next couple of days. So like the video, subscribe. Big things coming to the channel. Possibly can be going to some advanced screenings on a permanent basis in the next couple of weeks. I'll find out. And once I find out, I'll let you guys know on a channel update video. I'll see you guys very soon.